Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by 10th Man, Righteous Force, Arwin, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good afternoon.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
How's the
evening.
weather there?
Wonderful.
Weather's spectacular here, beautiful.
It's... Yeah, here too.
It's nice. As soon as summer rolls round, or what I call summer, spring, not winter anymore, I'd start to lose weight. I go out and do things. I get fat over winter because you're just sat and doing nothing, eating stuff. Whereas there's so little hours in the day to get everything done when it's summer because there's so much to do. It's brilliant. So no complaints here.
Yep.
Everyone okay on Discord? Just started a live show. You enthusiastic lot?
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Chocolate.
Hey,
Didn't see you there.
Hey, Chocolate, welcome back.
What's going on, guys?
It's all good. It's all good. We're going to do a bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, we've
if
been
that's-
really confused here, though, without you. Without Chocopedia.
Well,
Chocopedia? That's brilliant.
I think you guys will be all right.
Yeah, we come to get a quote for somebody, and it's like, where's Chocolate? None of us know how to quote people.
That's cool.
Right, let's do some housekeeping. Any signs of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve?
Not from Phelan, California.
Yeah.
Nope. Nah, apparently they don't need it. I was on 24/7 earlier, and I walked into a conversation, and somebody was talking about, why are you asking about geometric horizon? Why are you saying it has to be geometric? I was just like, wait a minute. Does your model have a geometric horizon in it?
It used to.
You guys forget about that.
No, I
Or
think the
it's not-
model
it's
still
not
has
relevant
it, though.
anymore or something. I don't get it.
I think the model still has a geometric horizon, though.
Not
you just
the
don't
actual
see it
Earth.
in pictures. You just don't see it
Oh.
in pictures, see?
Not the model, Arwin. He's not talking about the model.
Hmm?
He's not talking about the model. He's talking about in reality.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess that's where the slip up was. Yeah.
We all know there's a geometric horizon in there begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator. It's marked with an X labelled horizon based on the R value. It's the thing we debunked with the Black Swan. It's definitely in existence in their model. We all know that much, Arwin. However, that horizon, we only have one, doesn't exist in reality.
Right. Unless
Hey,
you
let me see if
confuse
I- let
everything
me see-
really bad
Let me
and
see
say
if I
there
get
is no
Choco.
horizon on a flat Earth.
Yeah, we
Seems to be the
definitely still
latest-
have a vanishing point. That would be our horizon. Reality, that is. No need to model,
So,
it's just gone. Sorry, 10th.
That's all right. So according to Chocopedia, the Globers have a physical model that they hold in their hands. And we've seen them on many occasions show us that globe. And they're holding it. And then in their writings, they have an X that delineates where the geometric horizon would be. And then this guy comes on and says, why are you talking about that?
You just have to reply, welcome to Flat Earth. You're right. Why would we be talking about this physical geometric sphere-edge horizon when we don't have one in reality? You're right. It's pointless, silly.
I mean, the nonsense. I mean, if they're putting an X and giving a name to it, and it's in all of their illustrations, and then to come on a show and say, why are you talking about the X that's in all of our illustrations that demarks a geometric horizon? Run towards depression and hurry up and get well.
Any more on the Black Swan? Might as well ask about Earth radius. Any evidence of Earth radius, the R value?
Only in the model.
By axial rotation of the Earth-based variety.
Only in the model.
No, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question.
Go on, Neil.
When was that instituted, the axial rotation?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we know the backstory of R. You know, you've got Aristarchus. No, is that right? Yeah, Aristarchus watching his shadows and presupposing Earth's a sphere as a result. Then you've got Al-Biruni deriving the R by measuring his dip angle, and then you've got that being backed up by Aristophanes. So we know the backstory for how we've come to have an R value and what they claim has measured it and who's derived it, etc., etc. But in terms of axial rotation, I have no idea. I mean, would it be Foucault? Does it predate Foucault? Maybe. Who made the assumption? Foucault's claiming to measure it, right? But like with Aristophanes, he doesn't actually give you the original presupposition of R. That's Aristarchus. Whereas in the case of Foucault, who's actually postulated in the first instance that we've got a spin? I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, wouldn't it be because they went from a geocentric to heliocentric, and so for it to be night and day, we have to be spinning?
So whoever replaced Ptolemy, is it Ptolemy that had the geocentric original version? Whoever replaced that? Who was that? Anybody? Anybody in chat? Anybody in the live stream? Maybe tell us, because we don't know. We should. God, aren't we terrible?
Can you hear me?
Go on, Alwyn.
Was it Copernicus?
Copernicus, that sounds about right. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's the Copernican model.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Alwyn. We're dumb, or I am. Let's move on from this embarrassing little little section of the show. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Only on their model.
No, that's not true. Not on their model.
I was going to correct him as well, Arwin. You go ahead.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Now, they assert that it's supposedly science, but that's because they don't look carefully as to what it actually is, which is an effect, as in a side effect of something else, just to do with density. And yeah, they allow that mistaken fantasy about it to wander off into, tying in with the supposed entire fabric of the universe. This imaginary thing that's not really a thing, but a side effect, is imagined to basically hold together the entire conceptualized universe, pretty much.
Well, that's why I said only in their model, because it's all imaginary and they don't ever make a truth statement based on reality. They have to stick to their model because any truth statement based on reality would upset their model. Which
isn't science, which is Arwen's point. But yes, you're both right. Just a quick shout out to Cleary. Thanks for the super chat. He says, what's the distance to the geometric horizon that the sun sets behind? Well, Cleary, the geometric horizon that the sun sets behind is the same geometric horizon that is supposed to be represented in their model marked with an X labelled horizon. It is the same horizon that the sun sets behind. Their geometric horizon is what is claimed the sun sets behind, because that's the leading edge of their sphere that they believe they live on. However, when someone asks you about why the sun doesn't change its apparent size throughout the day, for example, bear in mind that their sun, in its not actual position, doesn't set behind any horizon because you have a not actual setting sun. So in their model, when the sun goes down, according to their nonsense, it's still affected by celestial refraction. Therefore, what you see of the sun, according to the heliocentric model, is a sun that's not actually there. It's already gone below the horizon, even though you're seeing it set. That's what they claim. Now, the reason I'm prefacing all of this is because what they're actually asking you, and they ask you about what the not actual size of the sun does, i.e. the apparent size change throughout the day, their actual question is, why does the not actual size, that's apparent size, of the sun not change in not actual size as it moves in its not actual position? Because its position is also apparent. Like I say, according to them, you're seeing a sunset that it's not really there. It's behind the horizon already. So why does the not actual size of the sun change, or not change, throughout the day as it moves from its not actual position? Is in reality what they're asking you when they ask you about apparent sun size change as a somehow claim to be globe proof or flat earth debunking. It's a nonsensical question based on their own paradigm of a not actual position, not actual location, and a not actual size for the light in the sky we call the sun. But thank you for the super chat, Cleary. Moving on. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of cosmology, astronomy, or astrophysics? Don't all go at once.
Nope, not from
Not
Dr.
lately.
Becky, and not from any of them.
What about the distance to the sun? Any evidence of that?
No,
Definitely
no
not.
distance.
No, still requires their heliocentric assumptions of astronomical distance, Kepler's third law. That's a shame. Moving
Well,
on.
if it's a not actual position in their verbiage, how are they going to get a distance to a refracted thing anyway?
I mean, they'll claim they can have various points that they observe this phenomena in the sky, where they claim that, oh no, there's no refraction when it's directly above you. Of course, that's the least. That's what they'll say. They just make it up as they go along. Anyway, where are we? Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Nope. None of that.
Last but by no means least, any evidence that you can have gas pressure, like we're all breathing, without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon to give you the gas pressure. And that question's mainly directed to all the fundamentalist religious zealots who believe outer space is a sky vacuum.
Great.
Some
Gradient.
people think that if you take a container and you put something in it, that all, of course, being in a container because we have gas pressure, that combined is evidence that we don't have gas pressure within a container. So
But you still need a container.
it is all contained in the first place because we have gas pressure, and then they take a container within that containment to supposedly demonstrate that you can have gas pressure without a container. It's kind of double ironic, really.
Double ironic. Well, aren't they stating now that the weight is the container?
Yes.
Wait, what do you mean weight? Gas going up, produced at ground level, dissipating as it gets higher because there's less of it?
Yeah, so if
It's
that
going
is
up.
weight,
Keep
right?
staying at the
No,
air.
it's going up. Weight's a downward vector.
So then it's anti-weight.
Anti-weight.
what
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anti-weight.
yeah. If you take a real mechanical scale, not an electronic, you take a helium balloon with a little cord and you tie that to the scale, it may actually have anti-weight, according to that, because the scale is going to go the other way.
Yeah,
Because
or
it's
you could
being
just say it's
pulled up.
going up.
So on their own science books, it defines how we arrive at gas pressure hitting the walls of a container. And then when it comes to actually talking about the subject, they want to get rid of the container.
Yeah, especially like the NASA one.
Yeah, they don't like.
Say again, Neil?
They don't like.
No, they don't like natural law. It obviously flies in the face of their religious beliefs in things like sky vacuums. So yeah, they're not going to like these natural laws, gas law and second law of thermodynamics. They don't bode well for their religious belief in a sky vacuum. These inviolable natural laws, applicable always. Even when NASA quote how you can have gas pressure, they describe containment, because they know at a fundamental level that it's a law of nature. However, they've still got a sky vacuum that they're claiming to travel out to without any barrier between the gas pressure we're breathing and the sky vacuum they claim to float around in. Yeah, that's all lies. They don't. There is no outer space.
Why?
Outer space is fake. We don't have a sky vacuum. There is no outer space. They're not travelling anywhere. This whole idea of a space agency being required to stop other people setting up offensive space agencies. There is no space. That's just a giant black hole of money that they're pouring cash into for no reason other than lies. Complete propaganda. There is no outer space. They're not sending anything to it because it's not real. If it was real, we wouldn't be breathing. The gas we breathe would fill that space.
But the air gets thinner as you go higher. That's what they say.
That's true, Neil. That's very true. Produced at ground level, the highest concentrations being at ground level. Less concentration where it's not being produced. It's dispersed.
Yep, makes sense to me.
There's
Good
also cooler temperatures up there too can affect gas pressure as well.
Didn't hear a word of that.
Cooler temperatures up there can affect gases.
There's a lot of things that can affect gas, but you still need the necessary antecedent of a container for the gas to press upon. If there is no container, then the gas will just keep travelling in the direction and velocity that it's travelling in, pending any temperature change, Paul.
Yeah, I think if they're going to say the weight itself keeps it, then they should design their spacecrafts to not have any containment and just trust the gas will huddle around the astronaut.
We're protected.
Where's
Such-
the
I mean,
downward
that's
vector
such a
towards the moon?
beautiful-
Go on,
Oh,
Paul.
sorry.
What's that, Paul?
I said, where's the downward vector towards the moon? There should be a downward vector there or towards the sun, right?
Well, no, that's
Wait.
orbital. That's a begging the question fallacy within itself, right? The moon's in an orbital trajectory. It's continually falling, like we're continually falling around the sun, according to the heliocentric model. Orbits is basically just their way of dictating their begging the question fallacy to us. Well, obviously things are in orbits. What do you mean? You assume that
what's an
things fall
orbit?
around rocks. Go on, Chocolate.
What's an orbit?
A
It's
begging
a
the
travel
question
site
fallacy.
on the internet.
Shouldn't they be able to
Okay.
demonstrate that on Earth orbits?
Yeah. But they don't. It's like the sky vacuum. They just point at the sky and say, well, obviously that thing that is moving in the sky, I'm going to assume that's falling around us. Or, in the case of the sun, we're falling around it.
That's funny. All those supposed gravitational vectors flying around us, but yet somehow somebody thinks that they can measure this force with balls in a shed at a torsion bar.
Oh, they know what to call it an experiment. They call it a cavity.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
hear
old
you,
and
Neil.
busted to me.
Old and busted. We're on to the new hotness.
The new hotness isn't
Bending and
even the
warping
new
his
hotness
space
now.
time.
It's a bit comparable to Men in Black in the respect that when he says that line, he pulls up in a Mercedes E-Class from about 2003. Now, let's be honest. that car now is, for whoever owns it, an absolute nightmare. A horrible car. Right? Now, it might have been the new hotness when they shot the movie, and likewise, Einstein might have been the new hotness when he superseded Newton. However, that new hotness is now a decaying heap of rust and trouble. Just like Einstein.
Exactly. That's why I love using it. The
No-
old
no
and
offense
busted
to-
and the new hotness.
No offense to old Mercedes, Neil.
Well, just think about it though. They've come full circle. Remember, gravitas, gravity means the weight or the heaviness of something. They've circled all the way back around to what the original meaning of gravity is. So it's not the new hotness; it's the old and busted, ancient busted. That's what it is now.
Yep.
I can testify to that old Mercedes.
Yeah, a pile of trouble. Looked shiny though when it was new, I bet.
Actually,
Just like
still looks
Einstein.
good, but it's not good on my wallet.
Mercs, Beamers, Audis, just bottomless pits of plastic garbage. Very nice for the first couple of years if you lease them. That concludes the housekeeping, hence we're talking about cars.
Well, still, even though it got moved to number 2, gas pressure without a containment is so it's such a good one in the sense that when you ask that to a normie, they get it right away. I mean, that one they get so quick. The R and the Black Swan is number 1 by far because we understand it. It just kills it. Right? I mean, it's just impossible. But the gas one, people get quicker.
Right on. I liked the unintended puns from Paul. We're talking about Mercedes and he talks about going full circle, like a Mercedes logo. Mm-hmm. And we're also talking about orbits and gravity. And he's like, it comes full circle. What, like an orbit, Paul? Unintended pun that he's dropped in there.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I guess 10th man, the subconsciously rubbing off on me.
We're all being poisoned by puns.
Actually, Nathan's got that subtle pun going. I didn't even catch it.
I'm just attuned to the orbital arguments. That's all it is. If I hear the word orbit, it's like a little red flag that goes off in your head. Whoa, 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 whoa! Orbits! Begging the question, fallacy. Jump all over that immediately.
Plus, if I answer every pun, I wouldn't leave space in between for others.
Was that a pun?
That was a pun.
Boom,
That's
boom.
a pun.
Any ballers in Discord want to discuss any of the housekeeping questions?
I don't know if there is any. We might have to kick out some flat earthers. Is Righteous around? Has he disappeared?
The
Oh,
room
no.
was full.
I'm on my own. We've got what we've got, I'm afraid. We've got a full house. Who have we got in Discord? Hello, everyone in Discord.
Hello.
Do you want to ask your question, Ted?
Everyone.
We'll see if someone plays along regardless of what side they're on.
Yeah, no matter what side you're on, let's dialogue and have a good debate show and take on subjects. So someone in Discord, ask a question, please.
Oh, you're encouraging them to ask questions.
Absolutely. I mean, get involved. I mean, how do you come on a show that's live and just sit there? I don't understand.
Hey, Tony.
Well, I was going to say, I just wanted to clear something up from earlier. It was actually Philo Laos that came up with the bullshit actual rotation story.
It was who?
Or credit Philo Laos?
Phil O'Laus.
Of the Philo Laos. So it was a School of Pythagoras alumni, apparently.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Hello, Sleeping
Oh,
Warrior.
you're welcome.
Yo, yo!
How are you?
I'm very good. I spotted a gap on the panel. Someone was missing, so I thought I'd join.
What's up, Riley? Why do you sound like you're yelling from the bathroom or something?
I'm just stoking the fire. No pun. Genuinely stoking the fire.
Fire? It's the middle of summer. What are you talking about?
I'm just burning some paper. So I was stoking the fire, but in this age of punningness, people might think that it was an analogy to something, and it's genuinely stoking the fire.
Tony,
Yes.
when you're burning evidence, you shouldn't talk about it. Sorry.
Hey Nathan, you know when you said you hear orbits and alarms go off in your head? That happens with me when someone says gravity. The minute they say gravity, I go, woo, 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 gravity, woo, woo, woo. What is it?
Yeah, little flags. They're little cues, because clearly your opponent, as soon as they say the word orbit or gravity, they don't know they're begging the question. Of course we do, so we're going to point that out, right? Because that alarm needs silencing.
Don't mind me, I'm still burning paper.
Okay, you keep clearing out those filing cabinets.
Yep.
Excellent.
I'm just burning all my subs I bought recently, apparently.
You bought some subs, did you?
Apparently so. Somebody's bought me 200 subs and I'm getting blamed for it.
Bought you 200 subs. If you gain 200 subs, that's exceptionally good. Like, I think
No. Somebody's bought me 200 subs, right? And then blamed me for buying them just so that they can blame me for buying them. You know the old projection argument? Let's buy Riley some subs, right? Then we'll blame him for buying subs to make him look like lacking in credibility. And I'm like, thanks for the subs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want those kind of subs. That's why in my intro I say subscribe if you've not done so already. I don't want people subscribing with sock accounts. I want my sub count to be accurate. You know, I'm all about the data that comes off those subs and how many views related to the amount of people and so on. And so if you've got distorted sub numbers because someone's bought you subs, that's bad.
I know, but somebody's bought me subs and I'm being blamed for it. So rather than moan that they've bought me subs and I'm being blamed, I may as well just thank them for the interaction.
Fair enough. Yeah, 200
Hey,
subs
Nathan,
is a lot.
you've got two
just
memes about you and Master B. Take a look at them.
I'll have a look. Just so the title changed. Someone changed the name of Master B. Dr. Master B6. What's that all about?
I don't know. The Hams changed it. I don't know why.
Fair enough. Dr. Master's a terrible name for that chat group.
Change it back. I don't know why he's changed it. It might have been done accidentally.
Maybe.
Hey, Nathan.
Nah.
Hey, Nathan. Look
Go
at the Skype message I sent to you from Supreme Council.
Supreme Council.
Or Council of Supremacy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll get back to you about that. Excellent. Yes, very interesting.
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Keep your eyes peeled. 10 o'clock tonight, boys and girls. It's going to be hopefully going to be a really good show.
What? What's
Hopefully.
happening?
Hey, Nathan.
We'll announce it later if I can do it. Go on, whoever that was. Was that Babs?
Yeah, it's me. Did you say something about a crappy Mercedes?
Yeah. If you buy a Merc, not an old Merc, sort of pre-1990, forget that. But after 1990, Mercedes or Daimler went to the extent of taking their practices of making stuff very over-engineered, you know, using really thick metal and making everything really solid. They stopped that and just went to the Audi/BMW way of doing things, which is to use plastic on everything. So the car will last 2-3 years without any issues, then the plastic starts to crumble and they charge the same as they would for a metal piece of replacement part. And the net result is your Merc, after it's out of lease or warranty or whatever, is too expensive to maintain. So you end up with a shed load of these high-end or semi-high-end cars that are just worthless. You can buy them so cheap because you couldn't afford to maintain them. So, yeah, garbage. Modern Mercedes, modern Beamers, modern Audis. These luxury cars are just garbage now.
Right. Because the older Mercedes, like the W123s and the W124s, the ones that came out like in the 80s, those were amazing. Those were like the best cars ever made.
Oh,
like,
I agree.
There's still some being used as taxi cabs in Morocco and different parts of Africa that have like over 1 million miles on them, and they're still going.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Back in the Mercedes' reputation is built on those cars because back in the day they were heavily over-engineered, and I had several friends that had those types of Mercedes, old Mercedes. Now they weren't the fastest things in the world, they weren't the most economical things in the world, but they didn't break, They went on and on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, they were like timeless, especially like the ones that had that rubber and like leather interior. Like those were amazing.
Yeah, they got the vents that have got like a star shape in the middle of them. Very nice. Old-fashioned, but bulletproof. Now, modern cars are disposable. They're like iPhones. They're the worst type of product to buy. So, I like to buy in one of two product categories. The cheapest, nastiest, you can throw it away when you've broken it or done with it category. That's category one. Or the other end of the scale, the very best you can possibly get. Because then if it breaks, you'll repair it. You'll want to keep it, you'll want to service it. It's more economical to buy that stuff. Now, an iPhone or an iPad sits in that horrible middle category. Not horrendously expensive, but still expensive. But ultimately disposable. Now, cars have now fallen into that bloody category. You know, your 30, 40, 50,000 pound car is designed to be disposable. And now, back in the day, with those Mercedes you were just detailing, I don't know the model numbers, but there we go, you do. Those weren't disposable. Far from it. They were considered an investment. Now, a car's not an investment. It's a leasable thing that you chuck away at the end, like an iPhone, which is horrendous considering how much money they cost. But there we go. I hate that category. Middle of the road. Not designed to last forever, but still costs a lot of money.
Agreed.
Right.
Sounds like you described the trolls in chat, not to last forever, but bother everybody.
No, they're definitely in the disposable category.
Oh, no, they are disposable.
Yeah.
We just compare agricultural equipment, so you'll understand this, 10th man. If you look at any farmer, the equipment that they buy, and they will call it equipment, they won't call it a car or a tractor, it's equipment, it's just a piece of equipment, it's designed to do a job. Now, most of the farmers that I used to know had old equipment, really old in most cases. Did it function any different to a modern one? Yeah, probably wasn't quite as efficient. Probably didn't look as shiny. But it was still working 30 years after they'd bought it, and that's why they invested heavily in a very well over-engineered, designed to last piece of equipment. So that's what they bought, and it's still on their farm doing its job. Now, the same would apply to something like a Land Rover. Now, they've just put them out of production and changed them to what will be the same as every other piece of garbage car that comes out in modern times. Disposable. So your old Land Rover, like, you know, agricultural looking thing that farmers do still use and have still got 20, 30, 40-year-old ones on their farms working, those ones, that's gone. That will never happen again. So you buy a modern Land Rover and it will be plastic. That's how it will be. And it won't last and go on forever. But there we go.
Yeah, my neighbor's got a really old tractor, and all he does is just use it all the time. And the other day he says, "Yeah, I had to change a part." So, but they're solid.
So what you're saying is the new hotness is the new busted, or I can't say the old, but I don't know how to say it. But you know what I mean?
The new hotness becomes the old and busted within a very short period of time these days. Einstein's no different. You know, it's only taken 100 years. You know, it was Einstein superseded Newton 105 years ago. That's not a very long period of time for an entire paradigm to be tossed to the wayside by us. Woohoo!
This Chocolate, are you able to talk? Well, if he comes on, I'll ask him for that quote from Michio Kaku by the seat of the pants. The scientific method not being used anymore. And then I want to correlate that with your statement just there between you and Paul about Einstein and Newton. Most people don't even know the change. I certainly, didn't go to university or anything, so I couldn't have learned it there. But once you start, talking to people about how Newton is thrown under the bus and it's Einstein for 100 years and it's time, a conception, it's news to them, just like it's news to people that no one follows the scientific method anymore.
Yeah, it's utilised when there's a difficult part of the narrative that needs explaining. So they'll use Newton where they want to, not because it's applicable or because it hasn't been superseded, just because it's useful when needed. Old part of the rhetoric. Yeah, let's use that.
Well, we also got to remember that most of this stuff is mathematical, which means, okay, we have this in effect, like Erwin was saying. We do see things like solid things or liquid falls towards the ground. And you can describe that mathematically. Well, you can make the equation as long or big as big as you want, adding or taking away to get the result you're looking for. So if you're using math, this doesn't mean that it's really anything. And isn't length, width, depth, and height a mathematical concept? Isn't time supposedly a measurement of duration? There's no real substance to this thing, so it's just a mathematical construct.
Correct. It's all abstract. Maths is abstract. This is abstractions. It's a way of describing something like language. Maths is a language, so it's an abstraction. It's not a reality. It's an abstraction.
Aren't you using words to describe how you see the Earth?
Yeah.
I can describe pink unicorns that run through my backyard and how they poop all over the yard and have it grammatically correct. It makes perfect sense in reality. But is there truly pink unicorns running through my backyard?
No, but that's why the math goes together with experiments.
Maths can't explain things.
Wait a minute, though. What's your experiment for gravity? Go.
Hold on, he's talking about maths. No, maths is a description of something. It's not going to explain anything. That's science. The hows and the whys are established through science. How does this occur? Well, let's figure it out. With the scientific method. Not with maths.
Well, he did say once you use math, it leads to experiment, and Paul had a good question for him. So please comment on Paul's question, if you would.
Go on, do you want to repeat your question, Paul?
So if it's an experiment that validates the math, what's your experiment for gravity?
You can drop something and measure how fast it drops, for example.
What's gravity?
And that proves what?
Well, to get back to the point, you can describe experiments with words, but you can also use math. So I don't see the point in your argument.
What's your hypothesis?
What experiment?
What's his hypothesis and what's his experiment that's going to validate that hypothesis?
We need a definition first. A definition, please.
So what's gravity, first and foremost? Right, who's the guy making the claim in Discord? What's your name, sorry?
It's Ed.
Ed, what's gravity?
Mass attracting mass.
Nope.
No. We've just spent the last 20 minutes talking about the 105-year out-of-date old hotness, old new hotness. You know, comparing it to Men in Black. Maybe you didn't get maybe you haven't seen the movie. Nevertheless, we were explaining that the whole mass attracting mass thing is 105 years out of date.
What's really then? What's the new explanation?
Einstein. We just went over that for the last 20 minutes. Einstein. It's the new hotness, like an old busted Mercedes that's now giving you a load of trouble. That's your new hotness. 105-year old new hotness.
Yeah, so what's the new explanation?
Why are you asking us this is your claim?
You're saying it's out of date.
Yeah, it is. Yes, that's correct. It's 105 years out of date. Now, you're making this claim, and you're now reversing the burden of proof and asking me to justify your 105-year out-of-date nonsense when it's out of date. Yes, that's correct. It's out of date, not mass attracting mass. That's why Sleeping Warrior, he's better at this subject, far better than me, immediately got straight to the point and said, define what you're talking about. And you've said mass attracting mass. No. 105 years out of date. That's Newtonian. We're now an Einsteinian. Now you're asking me to explain that to you? No.
If it's out of date, that means it's updated. By what?
By Einstein. Are you deaf? Are you deaf? Are you deaf?
No.
Did you not hear me say?
Remains the same.
Did you not? You've asked me what it's been replaced by, and I've told you 4 times. Einsteinian new hotness 105 years ago. I've said that 4 times. Are you deaf?
So what changed? Nothing.
Are you insane? It changed from Newtonian to Einsteinian. Do I need to put this in words of one syllable?
He doesn't know Einsteinian definition for gravity. That's the problem.
Yes, something changed. They replaced one fantastical story for another. That's it.
Yeah,
Have
let
no
me
proof
get
for either.
Yeah, mass doesn't attract mass anymore.
Let me get this, guy. It's been a while. So, do you know what Einstein defined gravity as? He told us what it is and what causes it.
Go ahead, Professor.
He's asking you. It's your claim.
A yes or a no will suffice. If you don't know, just say, I'll tell you.
Just tell me what you think it is.
We'll take that
No,
as a
I
no.
wanted to answer the question. Do you know what Einstein defined gravity as, yes or no?
Are you going to tell me what you think it is, yes or no?
You're the one with the claim. I'm just checking that you understand what the physics is. So do you understand what Einstein defined gravity as, yes or no? Come on. If you say no, we'll move
Tell
on.
me what you think it is. Stop
You know
playing.
what it is?
No, we
they
need
don't
to-
like putting
hold
it
on.
out there. They
Hold
don't
on,
know
Chocolate.
what the hell they're talking about.
Ed, you're the claimant. You're making this claim, and now you're asking us to check if we know? No. You need to tell us what you are claiming and explain it to us. Not ask us to define it and then you pick apart our definition, which is what you're trying to do here. Burden of proof reversal fallacy. No. You're making this claim. If you don't want to take the claim any further, we'll just stop talking about it. No worries. You don't know what you're on about. No worries. We're not going to define it for you. We want you to define your claim.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let me define it then instead of asking yes or no nonsense questions, instead of addressing the argument. This is going nowhere if you're just going to say yes or no.
Are you going to define
Just say
it?
me.
Word salad.
Just tell me.
Are you
what
going to
think
define
it
it, or are you just going to give us this word salad obfuscation? Define Einsteinian gravity. Go.
Right, hold on. Let me finish then. Mass attracts mass. Gravity is
No!
an effect.
No, you circle-jerking fundy moron. We've told you 5 times. Wrong. Have you got nothing more to add here? Do you not know what Einsteinian gravity is? Like you've been asked. But apparently that's a yes or no word salad question. That's... No, mate, we just need to know if you know this or not. Clearly you don't, because you've gone back to mass attracting mass. Something we've smashed 5 times. You've asked us to explain and qualify 4 times why it's changed, and we've told you. Now we're just checking if you know what it's changed to, and you don't, do you?
You're not letting me finish, so...
Define
Are you
Einsteinian
gonna let me
gravity.
finish?
Go. If I hear anything other than a definition for Einsteinian gravity, you're going to get shouted at.
Right, so gravity is an effect. It causes mass to have weight. Weight is a force.
No, that's wrong. It's not Einsteinian's definition of gravity. You're wrong. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're parroting the nonsense wrong pseudoscience. You don't understand the current old new hotness that is a Mercedes-Benz that's all broken and busted up. That's your crap that you don't understand and haven't repeated or defined. Well done, Sleeping Warrior. Very effective.
Yeah, then let the professor explain.
Yeah, shut up. That meant sit down and stop talking because you don't know what you're on about. And I was commending Sleeping Warrior.
Try Googling it and then come back with the definition. If you can't, just say and we'll lead you through it.
You've got to have some humility, in other words. You've got to say, I don't know, which takes some humility, but you're going to get us to try and define it so you can pick apart our definition like a scumbag. But instead, you need humility here. That's why people don't like it here. Because when we get to the point where we've demonstrated how stupid you are, you have no humility and can't say, no, I don't know how to define Einsteinian gravity, my claim. So you get shouted at.
What the professor means, I don't know. There you go.
He doesn't know, Anthony.
So gravity is both defined, and we know what causes it, according to Einstein. It's the effect of the curvature of space-time caused by the uneven distribution of mass. So in the context of your question regarding gravity, which I actually can't remember what the question was now, it was that long ago, how are we going to explain gravity with regards to, say, for example, Newton's apple that falls from the tree?
Right, so that's it.
Yeah, that's the definition.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good one. It's Einstein's
really.
definition.
We don't actually agree with Einstein's definition for gravity, but that is the current physics. But if you've got something better than that you can cite for us, then be my guest. But unless you do, it would be really great if you could tell us how Newton's apple falls from the tree, but apply Einsteinian gravity with it being the current physics.
Yeah, so Newton described what we see, and Einstein described why it happens. There's the difference.
We've had the definition, we know what Einstein said. How do you explain Newton's apple falling from the tree, applying the current physics, please?
Oh, well, the mass of Earth attracts the apple.
That's not an attraction. It's a bending of space-time caused by the uneven distribution of mass, but it's not an attractive force. You're incorrect with your citation, sir.
We've covered this 6 times.
Well,
mass not attracting mass. That's wrong. 105 years out of date. We've told you this 5 times.
I get it. I'm muted again. Right.
You're not muted. Sorry, is this appeal to format? No, we're telling you that we've told you now 6 times that your 105-year out-of-date assertion that mass attracting mass is wrong. They're not complementary, they're in completely different geometry. Einstein superseded your nonsense that you're quoting over again after we've told you 5 times that it's wrong and why. You stuck record, mate. It's not Newtonian gravity anymore, you're just wrong.
They want to use both of them all the time.
So the mass of Earth gives off gravity. Gravity gives the apple weight. That's why it falls.
No, not a force. Go on, Anthony.
No, weight is the force. You're not listening.
Weight relies on... So what's the definition for weight in current physics?
Gravity.
Can we take that long pause as I don't know?
Exact definition.
Can we take that long pause as you don't know?
It's weight. Weight is defined as mass times the acceleration caused by gravity. But gravity is not a cause, it's an effect. So what's weight in that context, given that the acceleration caused by gravity is not actually a cause?
Gravity causes mass to have weight. So
no, it doesn't. Gravity is not a force, not a cause, it's an effect. It's a warping of space-time.
Yeah, and the effect is that things have weight, and weight is the force.
No, wrong.
Weight is defined. Weight is mass times the acceleration due to gravity, but gravity is not an acceleration force, it's an acceleration effect. So how does weight... How does anything have weight when it hasn't got a force to give it weight?
There's no force to give it weight, there's an effect. And the weight is the power, is the force. I mean.
Right. So you think you can have effects without forces?
What do you mean?
I guess
you can't have an effect without a force of some kind. It's got to be something pushing or pulling something by Newton's second law of motion. But if something's falling from a tree when it was previously not falling from a tree, according to your physics, your current physics, you need a force. But we know gravity is not the force. We know gravity is the effect of the curvature of space-time, in this case, the apple accelerating. But what's making it accelerate? Is it a push force? Is it a pull force? What name is it called? Because you don't have a force to make that apple move, but we do see it move. But that movement that we see is called gravity by definition. So what makes it move?
The weight.
Right, we've just explained that weight is mass times the acceleration due to gravity. But acceleration due to gravity makes it an effect. But we know gravity is an effect, right? But we need a force to do it, according to Newton's second law. What force is it? Because weight's the effect, according to your current physics.
Yes,
What's
and
making
you
it
said
move?
weight is... What is weight? You mentioned acceleration. So
No, weight's defined
why
as
are you
mass
so confused?
times the acceleration due to gravity. But we know gravity isn't it's not a force to give the effect. It's the effect, the consequence, right? The thing that happens. But for something to happen, according to Newton's second law, you need a force. What force makes the apple accelerate? And that acceleration be gravity.
One
But
more
what
time
force
in the
does
circle, then I'll make the conclusion unless you want to, Anthony. Go ahead, Ed.
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. It's circular. There is no answer to it according to Einsteinian gravity.
You want one last response, Ed?
Ooh, you want to know where the gravity itself comes from? Why
No,
mass?
let me just break it down
it's
once more, Ed.
gravity, is that
Hopefully, if I break it down slightly differently. Gravity in the current pseudoscience is described as an effect. Well, effects aren't causes. And the definition of weight, which is what you've used in rebuttal, is a force of gravity. When gravity's not a force, it's an effect in the current pseudoscience. So you can't have it both ways. AQE.
I didn't say gravity is a force. I said weight is a force.
Yeah, and according to the definition at third time in the circle, I'm not going to get into the same loop as Anthony's just got into, right? You can't be both an effect and a cause. And the way you're defining it is weight as a cause of a force of gravity. And the current pseudoscience is that gravity is not a force. Very specifically not a force, as defined by your pseudoscientist priests. Not a force. So it's not going to cause weight in the current pseudoscience, despite the fact that you're defining weight that way. Or weight being defined that way in general. Means nothing if the current pseudoscience for what they attribute that force to as gravity. Because gravity's not a force. Simple as that. A couple of quick super chats. So, first and foremost, someone's giving me money to point out that you definitely bought your subs, Anthony. Shout out to Flat Earth Court. Riley bought his own subs. End of. So, that's the end of it, Anthony. I've been super chatted, so
when
that's the end
someone
of it.
makes the assertion, evidence will be required, right? Shows the evidence that I paid for subs. I mean, I've got like 4,000 plus. Why do I need to buy an extra 100 or 200?
Just did. Cited him. Flat Earth Court. That's my evidence right there. What do you want? One more. Is that not good enough standard?
No, that's hearsay.
That's not hearsay. That's fact. Super chatted.
Oh, okay.
Paid money for that. Right. Shout out to Flat Earth. It's not Flat Earth Court. It's done that one already. Emma UK. Trolls and socks galore, says Emma UK. Thank you very much indeed for your super chat. I'm sure I've missed one. Here we go. It's another one from Flat Earth Court. Sleeping Warrior bought his subscribers and likes. He is lying to you all.
Yeah. Smash the super chat again. Say my name.
I know Sleeping Warrior well enough to know that I'm going to say this without any hesitation. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth Anthony would ever spend money on subs.
Let me ask you what's more likely. Is it more likely that I bought myself 200 subs, right? Or is it more likely that somebody bought them, paid for them, got them applied, to then accuse me of doing it? Because at the minute, there's a proper witch hunt on the table. We can apply the Boltzmann formula for that and prove that it's true.
Hold on, did you say there's a witch hunt against you?
Getting sock accounted to death, Nathan. It's
Is that right?
one or two people using many accounts.
Why? What have you done? What have you? I haven't spoken to you for ages. Well, that's a total lie.
It's a long story, Nathan, and we've only got 4 minutes. We need about 4 hours. 4 hours.
That's why I asked you now.
Hey, Anthony, Anthony, I smell an opportunity here. If I unsubscribe, will you pay me to join?
Will I pay you the what?
I said, if I smell an opportunity here for some cash. If I unsubscribe to your channel, will you pay me to join?
Pay you to join? No, but I reckon there's a couple of people in chat that might do. And then claim that you're fake.
Silly. the whole buying sub thing is silly. If you're going to be serious about YouTube, you need to keep an eye on your stats and you need to know what's going on. And if you've got fake subs or you've bought subs because you want to, I don't know, is it vanity? The idea that you've got a nice big number next to your channel? Ugh, no thanks. Just, yeah, I want a nice big number, but that's because I want people to actually be subscribed to me. Not because I just want a number there. I just don't see the point.
Yeah, it's
people buying
psychotic.
subs. It's stupid.
Be lying to yourself.
Yeah, it's kidding yourself. It's stupid. It's delusional.
Yeah, it's
back
called
to the-
gaslighting as well.
Back
Shout out to the subs that have bought me subs and
God,
views.
can we get off the subs, please? Back to the experiment that can be described by mathematics. I heard that a few minutes ago. Really, what if we have a qualitative experiment rather than one of quantitative? Riddle me that.
Any more?
Hello? And what does it matter anyway? Let's see the experiment that's described by mathematics. I want to see that one.
Anybody?
You got it?
Anybody going to give him that before we round out the live show and ask the people watching on the Premiere to stay tuned? Anybody for anybody?
Well, I can try, but he's just going to scream I'm wrong.
No, not if you're not going to scream you wrong. We heard plenty from you, Ed, until you went round in a circle about 6 times with me and Anthony asserting out-of-date rhetoric. You got shouted at for that, and for not knowing stuff that you were claiming and reversing the burden of proof. Your string of logical fallacies got you shouted at, not because you didn't, or we didn't accept your nonsense. Delusional, also. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in, smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!